Yo, what it is, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in here to another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Today we are going to talk about the old Chevy Silverado. And I wanted to touch base with you guys. And I've had this truck here for a few months now. And, wanted to show you guys a little bit about everything, and everything inside the truck. And give you some quick runarounds about some likes, some dislikes, some things that I want to point out to you guys that you may not like, and everything else, obviously about that. But overall, the truck has been flawless. Now, let me go over some of the mods and stuff that obviously you guys already know. So we did go ahead and add the cold air induction solution, cold air inductions, intake. We did the boardlet cap back, small aesthetic things like wrapping my bumpers, painting the calipers, debadging it, and I did actually take my running boards off to just give the truck a little bit of a cleaner look. Other than that, any other crazy performance mods and stuff like that, any supercharger and stuff like that, tune, haven't done anything like that. Again, I like it that this thing runs on regular, and I don't really want to mess with it too much, solely because this is my tow vehicle. Also, I do primarily now use this as a daily driver, so camming it and doing anything else like that, it's just kind of out of the questions. Some other aesthetic mods and stuff like that, I've obviously tinted the taillights, changed all of those to LED, added LED headlights, which work great. You could see better through the tint at dark, and nonetheless, it's just better than the factory headlights that came in the Silverado, with tinted taillights. And of course, we had to also add the third member up there, but you guys already saw some videos about that. So let's get into everything else. What do I really like about this truck? I do like the fact that it does run on regular. When you do add the tonneau cover and such like that, it really does make a huge difference in drag and gas mileage. It is extremely comfortable, and again, all the things that I really didn't like about the truck at first, that it was slow, stupid high up, stuff like that, because I was so used to being so low and having something fast and drinking a lot of gas and stuff like that. And now it's kind of a blessing at the same time, because I get to kind of experience both sides of the world. As far as the brakes and stuff like that, oil and everything like that, everything has really worked out to be great. I haven't had any hiccups, any technology hiccups or anything like that, really, with anything since I've had the truck. And we're going on about 3,000 miles into it so far. Keeping an eye on the alignments and stuff like that to see if the tires are chamfering and stuff like that. I know that it had brand new tires, obviously, when I got it, and the alignment and everything was great. But you just want to keep it, keep an eye on things like that. The backs were out quicker than the fronts were out quicker than the rear, obviously, depending on what you're doing as well with that towing all the time, having extra weight in the back and stuff like that. Obviously will cause the tires to wear out a little bit quicker than they would if you weren't towing anything, or if you always had something in the bed. Again, I threw the coarse exhaust on there just to obviously let it exhale and breathe a little bit, so it's a little bit freer flowing muffler than what was on there. And of course, obviously got rid of the resonator, but more so for aesthetics purposes and obviously in noise purposes. No real performance gain. Maybe you gain a horsepower or two on a good day on the dyno, but again, I'm not really worried about that. But now, here is one thing that I do want to point out and focus, that since I have done a couple of those small performance mods. Now, when I went to actually go get the trailer and drove from South Florida all the way up to Georgia, right south of Atlanta, about 75 miles an hour, I didn't have the tonneau cover, didn't have the cold air intake, and had the factory exhaust. 75 miles an hour, I was getting about 21 miles per gallon. Once the trailer was hooked up, it got somewhere between 8 and 9 miles per gallon. Now keep in mind, my trailer unloaded is 3,700 pounds. This is a 1,500. This does have a 6-speed, not an 8-speed. This is a 2015, not a 2016 and above, where they come with the 8 speeds, and then the new 2019s actually come with the 10 speeds. This is an LT based 5.3. I believe it has like 380 or 90 horsepower or whatever, and somewhere around that torque. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But what the point of me telling you this is more so about the gas mileage. So about 75 miles an hour, I was getting roughly around 20 miles per gallon. Then hooked the trailer up, was getting about 8 to 9 miles a gallon. At best, still pulling at about 75 miles per hour. Now, once I got the tonneau cover put on, once I had the exhaust put on, and also once I had the intake installed, I noticed that obviously I had to apply a lot less gas to actually get up to 75 miles an hour and retain that 75 miles per hour. And how I was actually kind of able to check that, because I drove and did it the exact same test, and I was getting somewhere between 10 and 11 miles per gallon. And then when I actually loaded up the trailer and put a car in it, it was getting somewhere between 9 and 10 miles per gallon. Now that's actually remarkably really good, considering the fact that with a car in the trailer, let's say the car weighs 3,500 pounds, you know, somewhere between the vet weighs a little bit more, the Trans Am is a little bit less, so 3,500 pounds with the trailer. Now you're pulling, let's just say 7,000 pounds plus, and it got better gas mileage than when it was pulling before without any of the modifications. So obviously it took some time for the computer to calibrate and stuff like that, but I thought that was actually pretty cool, and it really did help out with the fuel mileage of the truck. Now with the mods and stuff like that, well, on the highway I can get 28 miles per gallon at like 75 miles an hour. And then obviously if you catch a draft or anything like that, because you do have some less wind resistance, you can actually be into the 30s. Kind of rare, but the truck, you know, is 5,000 pounds plus and shaped like a brick, so it's definitely going to not cut through the air, kind of like a sports car or anything like that. Anything else that, you know, going on some road trips, again, the truck is extremely comfortable. I have no complaints. The back seat is very spacious, even though this is a double cab, not a crew cab. I did actually want the double cab and not the crew cab, due to the fact that you do get the little bit of a longer bed, and I do like that. Not that you can't get the double cab with the 6.5 foot bed, but it's more common to get it with the 5.5 foot bed. And brakes are adequate. They stopped this thing. I've had to stop a few times pretty hard in a pinch, and they've worked pretty great. No complaints about that. Hitch works great. And something I want to note on. So this truck doesn't have any helper springs, but it does have the tow package. And even loaded with my car in the trailer, this thing only sags roughly about 2.5 inches, so which is really good actually, considering how much the trailer weighs along with the tongue weight. And I thought that was pretty important, because a lot of people were asking, should I get the risers to raise up the front of the truck so that it rides level? And it does look better when you don't have a trailer hooked up, and it doesn't always have a trailer hooked up, but I kind of do like the rake look a little bit like that, and I'm sure buying it being a lower in the front will also cut out some of the air, the air that's actually going under the truck, so it probably will help out a little bit with the aerodynamics. But then again, maybe I may get that in the front and get the 2-inch raiser to raise it up and level the leveling kit for the truck. But I will obviously have to go ahead and get an alignment once I do that, because the geometry in the toe is going to be off just a little bit, and maybe the caster and camber, so I don't have any premature wear on my tires. Stereo system is great in the truck. I have no really complaints about that. Infotainment system is great. Backup cameras great. Soft tailgate open features are great. And I really think this is a great truck. And this one's a few years old, so I know any of the other trucks that are actually out there are even better. So they have newer features, some more luxury features and stuff like that. This is actually not a top model, but it works exactly for me, and I've really liked it, and I've grown to like it for exactly what it is. I've driven some of the other trucks with some of the newer features, and they are nice and stuff like that, but given what I paid for this truck and what a new one is going to cost, I stole this truck, and I can't complain at all. And I certainly wouldn't trade this one in knowing what I paid for this one. Not that it's been in an accident, not that it's totaled or rebuilt or anything like that. There's just no way that I can justify paying more than double for a couple luxury features, and I'm not getting a whole new truck or anything like that. Towing capacity it pretty much remains the same and everything else. So I just really couldn't justify it. And if I'm going to justify it and get a new truck, I am going to get a truck that's bigger than a 1500. I'm going to get a 2500 HD, and it's definitely going to be a diesel with the new Duramax. So that may be coming to the channel soon, but I think I'm going to keep this one for now. And of course, you have to deal with all the other bullshit with the DEF fluid and everything like that. I'm just not all into that right now, and I'm going to keep this one going for now. And she's working great. Some other future mods and stuff like that, I think I just may change the grill just to break up a little bit more of this chrome. But other than that, she is golden and she is working great, and I have no complaints. So if you're looking for a used Silverado, make sure you check one out. I really don't have any too many gripes or complaints about anything. Everything works, and she's good. I hate to say it, but with American trucks, people are, and not people, but Chevy, Ford, Dodge, just kind of been making the same shit, same engines pretty much for the last 40, 50 years. So I think they got it down, and let's hope that they got it down. But I think that's going to wrap it up here for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys liked what you saw. Again, more truck stuff, more reviews and stuff like that. And if I have any other further issues or anything like that, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But thanks for tuning in to another episode here on the Speedbug channel. We will see you soon. Deuces.